Welcome to HTML and CSS Basics Part 3. So where we left off in our last video is that you've seen that we kind of had some issues going on there with our navigation and with our borders kind of looking just a little bit janky. I wanted to go over a couple of things that you may have either caught on before I did or may have not caught on before I did. So remember when I told you about your closing navigation tags? This actually was not here. I did not close it. And because I did not close it, it looked like this. Now if I go back and close that navigation tag that I have there, it now looks like this, which you should kind of have this little border here, and I'll show you why it's extended out like this. But basically this is what it should look like. And right here I also had an extra closing tag, which is why if I take that away, it will look like this. So that's something to keep in mind, to always make sure that you have your open and closing tags, and also make sure there's not extra closing brackets around. So now that we have pretty much figured out that issue, I'm going to go back and start going over to our side or our welcome box that we had. So remember where we had our div class with the welcome box? We are going to basically go in here and add some CSS to that into our color change class. So I'm going to go right here, space it out a little bit, and again we're going to do dot welcome box. We're going to use those open and close tags. I'm going to space it a little bit to give me some room, and I want to have border color here again, border color. And I'm going to use the same one that I have up here, just this right here. Have that right there. The next thing I want is a position. And I want to set this to be initial. Put our semicolon at the end. No, I actually want to have our position to be left, not initial. So make that left. In the next line, I want to have a border style. And I want to make that solid. Close that with our semicolon. I want to have a background color. And I'm also going to use those hexadecimal colors that I was talking about. And I'm going to show you a website where you can easily get a lot of these hexadecimal colors to be able to do a lot of this. But I'm going to do E6, E there, close that with that, just to give it a different shading of blue. I'm going to do border width. I'm going to make that be 10 pixels. 10 pixels, close it. Make sure your spelling is correct. I'm going to then go ahead and do height. I'm going to make that be 350 pixels. And that is a very large amount of value there, but that is because we are using pixels. There are different ways that you can set values and not have to use pixels, but for right now we're doing pixels. That's also what I prefer to use. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to do text align. So I want to align the text. I'm going to put it to the left. I'm going to do color. I'm going to make the color white. I'm going to do margin, make that 10 pixels. And then I'm also going to do margin right, and I'm going to make that 700 pixels. And then I'm going to do padding 10 pixels. Make sure I have that semicolon there. I'm going to then also add padding left, and I'm going to make that 40 pixels. Right? Make sure we have that closing bracket down here. Make sure we always have our closing brackets. Command S to save. I'm going to refresh it. Now here we are. We have that nice border box right here. Now you can see we have our little box up here, and now the text is all the way in here. We're now also going to go back and add our class for the paragraph tags that we created, just so we can edit the text a little bit. So for this one, right here we have our class color change. For all of these, we are going to go ahead and do something a little different. We're going to do p dot color change. We're going to do our open and closing brackets. And I want the font size to be, let's say, 20 pixels. That's about how big I want it to be. Make sure I have that opening and closing bracket right there. Save it again. I'm going to open it. And now our text is a little bit bigger than what we had it. Now, what I'm going to go to next is that if we remember here in our box here, we wanted to have like a little side box here that contained some information about Amelia in a photo as well. And I didn't put this down in our code just yet, just to show you what this would look like just without it, but we're going to add a side box basically to our code. So what we're going to do under our div class right here is we're going to add another div class under it. And what we're going to name this one, do our open class equals, I'm going to name it side box, close it. I'm going to add a basic side box here. So now since we want an image, we have to use the image tag. And what this is going to do, I'm going to do image source. I'm going to do equals, or quotation, photos. And the reason I am doing photos is because this is the folder in which this HTML file is in and has a photo that we are accessing. If you do not put, if you do have subfolders and you have photos as your subfolder, your HTML file is not going to know to go inside of the photos folder on its own. It's going to be trying to search around the computer for that file. So this is our photos here that I have here in my folder right here. This right here is photos, and we have our photo in that. So this is our subfolder within this folder, and it is where our HTML file is, and we have the cookies there. So we have to put photos to access that subfolder slash cookies.jpg, and you want to put here the exact name of that file that you're trying to access. So how I have cookies.jpg, this is what needs to be here. If you name it something else, like have a capital cookies here, it's going to be looking for a capital cookies.jpg. Since that doesn't exist, it needs to be whatever you have named that file in your folder, because it is case sensitive. And after I do that, I want to do equals cookies. This is just an alternative text here. I'm going to close it. And then I'm going to add another paragraph tag here, and I'm going to make it another class. Do P class equals color change 2. I'm going to name it color change 2. And I'm going to name it hello. My name is Amelia. As you can tell, I love to bake cookies. I wanted to share my passion, if I can spell, for baking by opening up a bakery. I'm going to do a closing tag here. Make sure we always close that. I'm going to do another paragraph tag here, so I'm going to copy and paste this one actually. Be careful with copying and pasting, just because. Take this out. And I want to say, I hope you find this website useful and will explore all the lovely cookies I make. Again, you don't have to follow what I say word per word, but you can put anything down or follow along how you want to. And remember, at the end, put your closing tag there so that it shows up. Okay. I'm going to see if it shows up on here. Make sure that we have it saved. We do, but it's all the way down here. It shouldn't be down here. That's where our CSS is going to come in and where you're going to change that. So, back up here in our style, we're going to go under that paragraph change, the first one that we made. And we are going to do side box. That dot side box there. We're going to do our open and close in brackets. I'm going to say the position is absolute. Make sure that semicolon is there. I'm going to put it to the right, 0 pixels. Make sure we put our colon there, 0 pixels. I'm going to make it top, 205 pixels. I want to make the height 270 pixels. I'm going to do another background color. And what I'm going to do is make it that same background color that I have right here. So I'm going to copy and paste that. I want the width to be about 300 pixels. And I want the border to be 10 pixels solid. And I want to make it that same color that I have right up here. With border, you can add more text in there without the commas. So you can align your 10 pixels here, your solid, and your color, like I did just right there. I'm going to do padding next. I'm going to do a padding about 50 pixels. And then do a margin about 20 pixels. Make sure that my closing bracket is there. Make sure everything is spelled right. I'm going to save it, refresh it, and there we go. Now it is over here, and we have our image here and our text. We're going to go back and edit our footer in this text right here in our CSS. So, right above this one actually, let's do our second paragraph change that we made, which would be p dot color change to. That's going to be that one that we put in our side box. So I want to make the color white. I don't want to edit the font size. I want to keep it as is. Once I do that, I'm also going to edit our footer. I'm going to do dot footer text because that's what we made the class, which I'll go back down here. Our footer text right there. I'm going to do our open and close brackets. I'm going to do color, make it white. I'm going to make the font size to be about 15 pixels. I'm going to put it to the bottom so that it's at the bottom of the page and not floating around everywhere else. I'm going to make that 30 pixels to the bottom. Make sure our semicolon is there. And that should be it. Make sure it looks right. Looks right to me. Save it. Refresh it. And now here we are. Now we have the text right here to be white. And we have, hello, my name is Amelia. I love to bake cookies. I said bookies. I'll change that. I want to share my passion for making cookies by opening up a bakery. Fix some spelling errors there. I hope you find this website useful and will explore all the lovely cookies I make. And we have our footer here where the owner is Amelia's Bakery and her fake email address. We're going to do one more thing before I close this out. And we are going to, at the bottom, since we had image right here, we are going to mess with that in our CSS. Since it's not in a class, we don't need to put any type of dot before it. I am going to make a width. I'm going to make that 200%. We're going to use a percentage now instead of the pixels. I'm going to do a position. I'm going to make it relative so that it doesn't move. So I'm going to make it not be able to move, make it stay where it needs to be, or relative. Put it right there. Make sure that is closed. Everything looks right to me. I want to refresh it. The image is still like that and everything else. And yeah, everything. You will notice that on depending on what type of computer that you are using, certain things will probably not position the way you want them to. That is mainly because there's a thing that we call like media inquiries. We're not going to get in this tutorial. But if you go on to learn different HTML and CSS, you'll learn things about media queries and basically responsive web design. And basically this is because you do have people who view websites on different screens and either on tablets or on phones. And the reason why we have responsive web development there is because when I do this, we want it to move with however the person has their browser open. As you can see, I'm opening it And it looks fine when I have it all the way open, but if I have it closed like this, it kind of clumps it together. So depending on what size screen you have, whether you're working on a desktop or a laptop, and depending on how big or small that screen is, some things probably won't look exactly like how I have it positioned out here. But for the most part, this is just kind of getting you a little bit into the basics of what we have for HTML and CSS. It's not the best looking website, but this is to try to get you into how you can work with a little bit more of these, as well as there's different resources and everything out there to help you be able to develop your skills a little bit more. This is just to give you the basics of how you can create something like this, and hopefully in the future make something look a lot better and responsive for this. I am going to end this one and get into our final page in our final tutorial, where I go over some of the tools that you can be able to use to further your HTML skills, as well as show you the final product code if you missed anything and would like to go over it again. So I will see you all in the next video.